With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Gilly the Guru, coming live from the press box. Today in studio, we got Coach G.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm a loss for words. Is that what everyone's talking about? Is that what everything is going?
Yeah, man. I think
did it steal the show of the draft and everything?
Yeah.
It's reminding me of when T.O. couldn't find a team.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even want to say like Tebow. This reminded me of like T.O. Because like, I don't remember when they were talking about T.O., but they were talking about T.O. still looks like he could still play right now.
Yeah.
And then T.O. retired maybe about 10 years ago. From 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, just imagine how he looked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And no one signed him.
Yeah.
You know, it's so lost for words.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Did they all get together and just said, hey, no one's taking him, but we're going to give him to the Browns. And the Browns, all right, we're getting him. And we'll just get him at the 5th round, 6th round.
So you think they called this camera together and purposely made Cleveland the team?
When you send me that quarterback room, there's 5 quarterbacks. And he's going to beat that quarterback room out.
You think so?
He's beating that quarterback. It was Watson, Flacco,
Dylan Gabriel.
And then whoever the other guy was, he's beating out.
Yeah.
I think he's beating him out. Is he that bad? I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. I don't know. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy because, Gilly, we're talking about he's going to drop 20 spots. We're talking he ended up dropping rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds. That's unbelievable. I mean, because it got to the point where I'm thinking, Philly needs a decent backup.
Yeah.
You know, and, their style of play, see, smart GMs, that style of play of Jalen Hurts and Lamar from the Ravens, sometimes they get hurt. They're going to get a concussion. And what was one of the topics the other day was, would you give up a 3rd round for Tanner McKee? Tanner McKee was the backup, 3rd string backup for Philly, and he came in after Pickett.
Yeah. And
he looked good, Stanford kid, and everyone's happy he's the backup. Well, that's trade bait now.
Yeah.
Right? If they had that as a topic, so at what point was these guys thinking were, hey, if Jalen were to get hurt and Sanders is a 3rd stringer and he goes in there and lights up 2 games, bango. That's a 3rd rounder. That's a 2nd rounder right there.
Yeah.
Because I would say starting quarterbacks should be what's the word here? They should be confident to know that I'm the guy here.
Yeah.
And especially with that's kind of like Michael Vick and McNabb. And then even, Carson Wentz with Hurts, in both situations, like I didn't think Vic was going to go and take his job.
It got a little weird with Wentz, then Nick Foles, then Hurts.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's that trio. And they started saying that the locker room got divided because of Nick Foles
Yeah.
But now they're at a 4 or 5-way stop over there in Cleveland.
And they already paid the other guys, the older guys, right? The veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting how that shapes out. Like, are they going to put them on the damn practice squad?
One of them has to be.
Because you're usually carrying 3. You're not carrying 4 guys.
Yeah.
because they had a decent draft too, right?
Well, actually, they have Kenny Pickett now, don't they?
Yeah.
That is their.
Yeah, there was
the
5
fifth guy.
guys on that list you
That is,
sent me.
yeah. There's Kenny Pickett is the fifth guy that we didn't
Pickett.
mention.
I bet you one of those guys got to get traded by the time season starts.
Well, that's why I text you that too. Is this trade bait now?
Yeah.
Like you said, could he be? What if he does do good in OTAs and practice and all this other shit? Another team was that get a quarterback that injured, quarterback not looking too good. Hey, what's up with Shador?
I mean, I didn't realize, is the whole world not rooting for this kid? Because, like, just me being me, I'm now rooting for the Browns to figure it out now. I mean, you obviously like Myles Garrett, and then they picked up another, their first round guy. Wasn't it the D tackle or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's supposed to be decent. That was going to bolster up their defense. And then they got a decent draft also, right?
Yeah.
All the way through. Man. Did they get a running back?
I'm not sure if they
I think they did get a running back. I think they got another running back to help out.
I remember texting you about this, but I don't know why it went off my head. That kid Jenkins from Ohio State. They ended up getting him.
Yeah.
So that was my guy that I actually wanted him instead of Genty.
Really?
Well, it was a toss up between both of them,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think what just scares me with Genty is the division he played in at Boise State.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he was good because there was no other shining spotlight on that offense at all. Played with a mediocre line and still could do good. But this kid just playing at Ohio State just went off. And even during the season, in the playoffs too, had a great run. I mean, so it was a toss up between the two. I wasn't mad if they would have selected, Jenkins or Genty.
Yeah.
But I think Genty was the no brainer right there, especially because over in his pro days and combine, Genty just looked too good. It kind of sucks because I think the whole story of Shador kind of took away from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people got lost. A lot of people, people got selected, and people were like, oh, well, it wasn't Shador.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that part kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And even one of my friends texted me and was like, I can't believe Shador slid all the way second round. And he texted me again, third round, fourth round. And I kind of agree with Dan O from ESPN, where he was talking about, Shador is not like a unicorn. He's not a unicorn type of player.
Yeah.
He's his arm strength is kind of like mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
And ran a 4.6 40. It's nothing that you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And with the other quarterbacks like a Cam Ward, he has different dynamics that they're generational. He's like a generational player to me, and this is my opinion. I mean, I think he's going to turn that franchise around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just from that, from his experience alone, I mean, him already playing 4 years of college football, led college history books most touchdowns thrown. I mean, he's smart. The zip on the ball, he has his arm strength, the knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Shador does have that knowledge too. He has a good IQ of the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way he carries himself. Cam just seems like he's just all in.
Yeah.
And, with Shador, it just seems like too many antics. This is because me and my dad. This is how we are, and
yeah.
But you're not your dad, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he's a whole different player now.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that took effect into his stock.
Yeah.
And and I think like I said, the skill set too. I mean, it's not nothing where you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
So I think it's I think a lot of people were rooting for him. A lot of people wanted to see him good, but when it comes to reality, he's not as good as a Cam Ward.
Yeah, it's just crazy how he dropped all the way down to all those other quarterbacks getting drafted in front of him.
Yeah. that Tyler kid that the Saints picked up, I think that was crazy. He went actually before Shador though.
I just think it just comes down to when they were even talking about how you really want to have a backup getting all the attention and this and that, and that got overblown, and that was kind of getting pushed a lot every time they kind of talked about, Dune, so, and I think that kind of seems like no one just wanted to even deal with that whole package.
Yeah.
Deal with that whole package,
This is too much hoopla now, you know what I mean?
But I just think, man, I mean, if you have a strong enough organization, you want that guy in there, so yeah, I just think it's just, wow, man. I would just gotta kind of feel for the kid, you know. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I'm definitely rooting for the kid, and see how he does. Because it's gonna be on and cracking when it's preseason and he's gonna get his shot.
Oh yeah, he's getting a lot of playing time. We're gonna see a lot from him. Pick number 2, Travis Hunter. How'd you think about the Jags trading up?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was expecting to go. He was gonna be 1, 2, or 3. So and that's just I'm just saying, like, if Dion was his dad, is he getting picked second, or are they making him wait?
Nah,
is he gonna be the real deal? Is this guy gonna be the real deal? Because same kind of same story. Was a leader at Jackson State, leader at Colorado, but didn't really get to see him do anything against the big dogs. That's interesting how he's gonna be, because he's with Jacksonville, right?
Yep.
Jacksonville. Yeah, that was a good move for them, man. I think that was a good move for them.
Yeah, I think that really was a good move for them. Just going back saying, like, do you think he would have got drafted if he was Sanders' son? I think he might have, because I think it's also the way you carry yourself.
Yeah,
I think that got to a lot of GMs, a lot of organizations, when they say, he went in there really nonchalant.
Yeah. But do you think about, like, the Baker Mayfields, right? The Johnny Manziels, right? Like, those guys are hella cocky too, and bam, they're going number 1.
But I think they had different factors like that, though. I mean,
yeah,
I think from what I read, they said that he had a lot of traits showing that he's really not coachable.
Yeah,
if you're not his dad.
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel, they had the cockiness and all that, but they were still coachable, though.
Yeah,
even though he was nuts. Fucking Manziel was off his rocker, but he was still,
yeah,
he still worked.
And I'm sure they all had that $1 million arm too.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, Johnny was bombing.
Yeah, they had a rocket arm.
Yeah, the rocket arm.
Yeah.
I mean, Shador is very accurate. He's very accurate passing,
Yeah.
but his strength, I just don't see the arm strength there for him.
I mean, it's all set for him, right? Go to the Browns and turn that franchise around.
Yep.
Everyone's going against you. The owners are trying to set an example. You can't take over. Can't take over.
So let me ask you this real quick. I just popped in my head. Do you think he has nothing to lose?
Yeah. Now, I mean, there's got to be
knowing the circumstances now, he feels like a lot less stressed now, because he's got drafted to a weird situation. He could fall back on that, saying, "Well, I got drafted to the Browns. They have 4 different quarterbacks."
But you can see for sure, Deshaun Watson, he's out all year, right? Because he has an injury.
Yeah.
So he's out of the picture. So it's the 4 now.
But I think Deshaun's actually coming back this year.
Oh, he'll be back in time.
Yeah.
So he's going to come back expecting it's his job.
Yeah.
And Hard Knocks need to be over there.
I think just for that story alone. And do you think someone like Myles Garrett that just got paid, do you think he's thinking, what the fuck are we doing?
No, that was huge. Like, I think that was a good. This kid was supposed to go first round, and they got him in the 5th round, just because the owners are trying to, whatever they're trying to do, whatever message they're trying to send to the dad, to the kid. But it's like, you can't say it's to the kid, because there's a lot of kids that are cocky.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe so if they're saying he's cocky and not good, well, there's been a lot of kids that have been cocky and not good either.
Yeah.
And they're still getting their shot, you know. I mean, every time when it was the Saints coming up, if it was, you know, then it got to the later rounds where, like, dude, you don't want this guy as your backup? And that's just going back to where I was saying is, you know, if he was in the room with Jalen and because they traded in front of Philly to get him. I bet you, I had a feeling they might have thought about it, that they would have took him, because Philly got someone right after in the 6th round.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they only have 2 guys. It's just Tanner McKee and Jalen. You know, you got to be able to be in control of your organization as a leader and not worry about this guy going in there and running the show.
Yeah.
You know, so just like Jihad said, the richer would have got richer, you know, if they were able to get him, you know, and just you know, that quarterback room gets better. I mean, obviously, to me, that quarterback room gets better in Cleveland. Him going there.
How do you think Dylan Gabriel feels? He got drafted before, and now here comes Shore.
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, because
do you think
he's
like,
thinking, okay, you know, Kenny Pickett, we've already seen what he can do. Old man's gonna teach us. You know, Flacco is gonna teach us, and I'm the next guy of the future. And then now with this, now he's thinking like, man, I could get traded if Shador comes in training camp. You know, I mean, think about it. If Shador would have got drafted round 1 by the Browns, he's already at the facility asking for the playbook, asking for this, that. So is he still doing that round 5, round 6? He should be thinking like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you think what if the roles were reversed? What if he got drafted
And then
and Dylan Gabriel's spot?
Yeah.
Then Dylan Gabriel got drafted after.
Yeah.
Do you think they would have did that? Or do you think something or someone was planned?
Well, I think they just knew, everybody knew that, no one wants him. Nobody wants him. Saints, obviously, they got their guy early, right? And then it was just, maybe the Raiders were going to swoop him. Like, when did you, like, were you hoping they got him? Were you hoping by, you know, at least as later as it got?
I honestly, when I was texting you and we were talking about, you know, they're going to draft him because they're just trading back and no one behind them needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they're just racking up all these picks now.
They're just being smart.
Yeah, they're just racking up all these picks. Up. But when they passed him 5 times, I said, there's no way they're going to get him.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way. And that's a weird thing because Tom Brady is like a mentor to this kid. And Tom Brady has something, knows something where it's like, don't get him. Right? Instead, they went 6th round and they drafted Cam Miller from North Dakota State.
Yeah, this is the good old Summit League.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You know, it's weird. It's a very weird
like,
situation.
how long were they ever going to wait? They were going to, like, the audacity to be like, you waited to the 5th round to get me? The 6th round? They wouldn't have picked that guy over Shador. North Dakota State. If he would have been there, they would have picked that guy over Shador.
Well, that's my thing. How long were they going to wait? You know, and unless
because that's when it started looking obvious. Like, did Milroe get picked before?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, but Ewers, the kid.
Ewers, I think he actually went undrafted.
That's the Texas kid, right?
Yeah.
Poor kid, huh? He didn't get drafted.
I don't think he ended up getting drafted. Yeah, it was just it really beats the hell out of me that a lot of kids went undrafted that were actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And or even like I think the other Sanders brother, Shiloh, I think he was pretty decent enough to get drafted, and he went undrafted. But I seen that Bucks actually picked him up now.
They did.
Yeah.
So he was eligible?
Yep.
Oh.
So him and Shador were both in the draft together.
Oh, I thought he was next year because he was saying like man, if this kid didn't get drafted, how am I going to get drafted?
Well, that's what he's saying because he was there. Like,
But I thought he was thinking to be next year.
no. So he knew he had no shot. Pretty much when it was past the third round, he knew he wasn't getting drafted at all.
Yeah. Yeah, he shot those dreams.
New York Giants, third pick, Abdul Carter. I think that was a great move for them.
Yeah, that was a good move. That's a little scary. The East is looking nice.
It looks like it'd be real competitive.
The East is looking nice. I mean, Washington, they're showing their key additives that they got to their team, and then looking at the Giants getting their quarterback, and then Scatterboo, and then Abdul Carter.
Yeah, how do you feel about Dart being in your division now?
It's funny because I was talking to the Woo Man, and I was just like, yo, Philly's going to smash him. He's like, dude, you were just showing him how to love. But it's like going to the right team. It's just like, man, this poor kid's with New York. Is he going to follow the same footsteps as Daniel Jones? That's just all I was thinking, and then, but, they are getting better. It seems like they're getting a step better, closer, to, than they were last year. When you look at Cowboys, like I don't really see them making any moves that's, looking anything serious. So, but now it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a dope division, but yeah, with Scatterboo and then the running back that they had last year, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. I forgot his name, but he came out of nowhere.
And then Neighbors is really good.
Malik Neighbors,
I'm sure they got some other weapons for the offense, also. But yeah, no, we'll see how that pans out, man.
Yeah, Dart was one of my quarterbacks I actually wanted the Raiders to get. If it wasn't, I mean, after a while, after I realized Cam was gonna go within the first two,
yeah,
I knew Raiders didn't have no shot. I said, yeah, it has to be Dart.
Yeah,
I honestly I didn't want Shador, but yeah, it was either one or the two. But I think the Giants got their guy. But then again, you think about they're another team. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, the little DeVito Italian kid,
and then Dart.
And Dart.
That is interesting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty interesting because for sure he could probably beat out the DeVito kid, right? Jameis Winston, he's probably there just to teach him. And Russell Wilson, probably there just to teach him too. I could actually see him starting in the next year.
And we're like seeing it right before our eyes where like old quarterbacks and new quarterbacks are like fighting for their lives right now.
Yeah.
All
the quarterbacks from our era are dying.
Yeah.
They're
dying out.
Careers are fizzling out. And
they're holding on to them. Like we're seeing them like the 4 or 5 guys in a room.
Yeah.
I just imagine that room, like Flacco talking, hey, well, how about we do this? And Peckett, well, this is what we did in Philadelphia last year. Damn.
Overall, for your Philadelphia Eagles, how'd you like your guys' draft?
Man, I like that first guy that they got. I was only just going off of just the grades that, ESPN had. So I would just check out the best available, see what the team needed, and then just see, all right, go to that cornerback group. Okay, that they got 4 guys that are rated at 85. And then go look at their linebackers. There's only 2 guys at 85, so go get a linebacker or whatever. But it looks like that guy that they got round 1 looks like a savage. I think he might be, that might be Nakobe Dean might be on his way out, or I might put pressure on him because that's just, I think, the position that he was playing, But with him getting his injury and having this dude, they're just going to be deep. But I like that move, man. I mean, it seems like they're talking a lot about him, and he moved all the way back to 30, 31. So, again, that guy. And then, honestly, all the other guys didn't really know any hype on any of those other dudes. Hopefully they could come in and, set the tone early. But just happy with that first pick,
I mean, Campbell looking pretty good, man. 6'3", 235, running 4.5 in his 40.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, actually really good on filling gaps.
Yeah.
Good run support, and he's actually really productive on his pass coverage too. He's usually right there in coverage. Good open field tackler. Yeah, he should definitely be a plus for them.
Yeah.
I know Philly actually got another linebacker from Georgia too, Munden Jr.
Okay.
That's another guy that
Yeah.
could help out the room.
I feel like they got him towards the end, so that might have been a good little steal.
Yeah, I think the 5th round.
Uh-huh.
I think they actually got him 5th round. He's another guy. I think around like 6'2", 225.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm interested how this safety is going to be from Texas. It's supposed to be a hard hitter, but then that was just one that kind of surprised me because just like going at the grades, the Jihad guy was at 90, and this guy, I think this safety they got from Texas was like in the 70s, so surprised me they went and got him early, but hopefully he's another savage, but showed some highlights of him. Dude was hitting, so
yeah, he's he actually good on run support too. So he actually kind of played kind of like a little bit of they call it a rover position.
Yeah.
So it's like in between like a safety, but he could play in the nickel too, like a linebacker. So he can play kind of low.
Yeah.
About like a 5'11" frame.
Okay.
About like 190.
Yeah.
4.4 in his 40.
So that's pretty fast, huh?
I mean, for a safety, I mean, it's usually your first couple steps and your reads and whatnot. But I think another good addition for them.
Yeah.
Because I know, they lost a couple guys.
Yeah.
Gardner Johnson.
Yeah.
Took off. I don't know. Does Philly actually have his replacement already?
I think they have another guy that's already there. And then this guy's going to fight for that job.
The San Francisco 49ers, Malik Williams.
Yeah.
Out of Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Big time edge rusher. He was actually ranked 3rd in his position, 91 grade overall. Overall rank in the whole draft, the draft in 12th. I mean, his rank was 12th.
Uh-huh.
Niners got him at 11.
Yeah.
But it still kind of seemed like a reach for me.
Uh-huh.
I think there's actually guys on the board they could have used.
Yeah.
But they drafted him instead.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they could have went a different route?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of surprised me. I want to know. I want to say on Philly radio they were talking about him, but that was for late first round, So, if Philadelphia had the 10th or 11th pick, I don't think they would have picked him. They would have probably went after someone, at a higher grade. But that kind of surprised me. I didn't really see him play in college, so I can't really say.
Yeah. I think for sure he's gonna be a day one starter though.
Yeah.
Because on the opposite side of Boza, they have nobody.
Yeah.
So I think he would definitely be that guy to start. He does have a really raw pass rush. Huge upside. I mean, like he don't suck. I mean, but I think there was guys that they could have used better. Like there's like linebackers out there. I think that to me that San Francisco needed. I don't see why they really didn't push in free agency for already proven pass rusher.
Yeah.
Instead of getting one. Instead of, they got one in the draft.
Well, there was a lot of edge guys and D tackle guys that they could have probably sat back on. That linebacker from UCLA, could they have used that guy? But that's too early to pick that guy, right?
Yeah. For their first pick, that thing for the first pick, I think was too early to get.
I mean, they went deep. I noticed a lot of teams went deep on just their needs, and they went all defense, huh?
That's what I noticed about this draft. A lot of people really went with what they needed.
Yeah.
Or a lot of players just went with the best next off the board.
Right.
And which I think they should do. I know for me, I know in the past, like for instance, because everybody knows, but the Raiders, they always fucked it up.
Yeah.
Every pick, back then, Genty wouldn't have been the pick.
Right.
They would have drafted like a corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They always reach for somebody that had crazy upside, they always try to get like that sleeper in the draft,
Yeah.
and it never worked out. But with Brady running the whole scheme now, I think
Yeah.
he had a lot to do with this.
Uh,
They got two good receivers, one from TCU, another one from Tennessee.
yeah.
With Genty, now you got Brock Bauer already there.
Yeah.
You got Geno Smith.
Who did they get? Who did they pick after Genty?
After Genty, they actually went with the wide receiver from TCU.
He was hyped, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder how he's gonna do.
Hey, man, Are you talking about Genty?
No, the wide receiver from TCU. He was like, "Let's go, let's go." He was doing that the whole time.
Really?
He was he was hella happy to be a Raider.
Yeah, I didn't get to see exactly when he got drafted, but
Yeah.
but it was the same thing with Genty too. He was hyped.
Yeah.
He said that he wanted to go there.
Yeah.
I know behind the scenes he was talking to Marshawn a lot.
Uh-huh.
He was probably already getting prepped for Pete Carroll and whatnot. And
Hell yeah.
but I mean, that's an offense that they're gonna run the ball. I mean, and they need that.
Did they get any linemen?
I know they already addressed that they did get offensive tackle. I think
Uh-huh.
they might have got two of them. But I know they also got offensive linemen in the free agency.
Uh-huh.
So really kind of rebuilt their line a little bit.
Yeah.
For what they needed.
Yeah.
Last year they got a good guard. I think he switched to center now. But they built a little line over there.
Yeah.
So but man, the Pete Carroll's offense and running the ball and
So the line's decent.
line's decent.
Okay. And then they got Brock Bowers. They got Genty.
Genty, they got
TCU guy. Right.
And
So this TCU guy, do you know any highlights on him? Like, is he like the typical New England Patriots wide receiver? Like Wes Welker or
he's actually a bigger body. So
Edelman? Is he like an Edelman?
No, he's about 6'2", like
Okay.
220.
Okay.
That type
Damn.
of dude. Yeah, he has good eye for the ball.
And then you already have Myers, right?
Yep, Jacoby Myers is
Myers.
on the team too. I mean, this dude, he has a crazy jumping ability, man. Like he could hit the ball at the highest peak.
Uh-huh.
Like he's one of those receivers that will go up and get it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. When I seen that, I was like, that's elite right there. And even a couple rounds after, they ended up getting Thornton Jr. from Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, dude, like that was huge for them to get.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
What is he, a speedster or a big?
he's
target?
he's a big target.
Yeah.
We're talking about like 6'6".
Oh damn.
Yeah, we're talking about like 6'6", like 210, I think, or like 205 to 210.
Yeah.
So he's one of those dudes that he could really just go up and get the ball. Big target, big frame. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they need.
And then just still got to get on the defense.
Got to get on the defense. I mean, in this draft, I mean, Oakland actually went with one corner, 2D tackles, a linebacker. So they addressed a little bit.
Any of those guys from like any dope schools?
Cornerback they got from Iowa State. D tackle was from South
Iowa
Carolina.
State. That was Cooper DeJean's
Yep.
teammate, huh?
Yep. Linebacker from Minnesota. D tackle from Ole Miss. I mean, some elite schools, but the offensive guys came from.
Yeah.
They're the ones that came from the big schools. So they got Genty. They came from Boise State. They got an offensive tackle, came from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver, like I said, Thornton Jr. came from Tennessee. Another receiver from Montana State, and that quarterback from North Dakota State.
I wonder what the grades are. Like, how did the Raiders do compared to?
They're actually giving the Raiders
West.
an A.
Really?
Yeah, I seen actually today they were giving them an A in the draft.
Like, how did the 49ers do compared to theirs? How did the Philadelphia Eagles do? Because I'm talking the Woo Man's sounds like 49ers defense is locked in, So I wonder. It sounds like he gave him an A+.
I mean, let's go over their draft.
Because like who had the shitty, like, are they saying that the Browns had a good draft? Like, who had a shitty draft?
I think You know who had a good draft? I think that I had seen was Arizona. I think
They were hitting a lot of dudes,
and actually Baltimore. Baltimore looked pretty good on their draft board.
Baltimore did get some good defensive pieces too.
They did. They actually got
that safety
Starks from Georgia.
Yes.
Yep. Then they went with Mike Green from Marshall.
They went and got him. Yeah.
Edge. Yep. I mean, and also they helping Lamar too. They got an offensive tackle, 2 offensive tackles. Got another They got that linebacker from Cal, Buchanan. So that was a good pickup. Local kid from out here. Corner from Rutgers.
Man, what if the Ravens and the Washington went to the Super Bowl?
You know what's crazy? I just looked. Washington only had 5 picks in the whole draft.
Huh.
It's nuts, right?
I wonder what held them back. Like, I wonder what trade that they gave away all their picks. That's wild.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, we always talk about the Niners' needs, right? So they had a total of 11 picks, and they went 6 defensive guys.
Half?
Just about half. Their very first pick.
But defense early, heavy, huh?
Early. They addressed the D-line right away. Alfred Collins, the second pick, at D-tackle from Texas. Huge dude. Mikel Williams from Georgia. Good edge rusher. Then Nick Martin from Oklahoma State, linebacker. Then Upton Stroud from West Kentucky at corner, and C.J. West from Indiana at D-tackle. So they went strictly defensive, the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So I think, even before we started the podcast, I was surprised when I was telling you, I think they should have went linebacker first.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like they needed to get the other edge rusher for Bosa.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would have personally addressed the edge rusher in free agency, because I think it's going to be the same thing. Bosa's still going to be on an island by himself.
Yeah.
You have a rookie that's going to come in, and when's the last time we ever seen an edge rusher that was really dominant?
Yeah.
Day one, besides.
Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah.
Especially an edge rusher. To come in the league and just be dominant right away, it's pretty hard to do. Think back, and who was the last edge rusher that we're really seeing that was crazy dominant? I mean, actually, besides like Michael Parsons, because he off the bat.
Well, like off the bat, like coming in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
besides him, was it go back to like maybe Khalil Mack as a Raider? I mean, he didn't get his first sack until like almost like week 10, 11, but he was always had pressure.
Yeah.
He was wreaking havoc.
And then obviously
Myles Garrett. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I think with like Niners situation and a lot of team situation is when you pay that guy on the corner, you can't get the other guy in free agency because you're going to overpay. So your best thing is to just you got to develop the kid, and hopefully he can, beat the single team because he's getting double teamed, but I think that's just the name of the game because, I mean, even if they were to go get Josh Sweat, who got paid, or Milton Williams, who got paid, they already learned that lesson from getting Hargrave from Philly. They finally got him, and then he got injured, and that never panned out. So I think sometimes when you get that guy, kind of like where Cleveland's at too, where they have Myles Garrett, and now they need that rookie that's going to come in to kind of do his part, and if he wreaks havoc, it's always tough too, because I mean, looking at Philly, they have their guy in Carter.
Yeah.
But he's a D tackle.
D tackle, yes.
So they're double teaming him.
And letting the outside
and then the outside guys are all, one on one.
But that's the crazy part though. With pass rush,
mm-hmm.
the pressure from interior is what is the biggest. I mean, the outside guys get all the glory and fame, but to really stop somebody,
because you're stopping the run, and you're
and you're disrupting the pass because all of a sudden.
So that's more valuable.
Inside pressure. Oh,
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
Look at the 2 Super Bowl losses for Mahomes. What happened to him?
It was all inside pressure.
Inside pressure.
And you remember too, like I don't know if it's the same thing, but when Brady lost, right, he was like hopping around. And
Yeah.
The inside pressure gets you.
Then here Graham poked out the ball, right? And
Yeah.
It's the inside pressure is huge.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing. That's a great pickup for them. For the Niners, were Alfred Collins from Texas, good dude. That presence in the middle is huge. Going back to a couple years ago, one of the greatest, my opinion, the greatest defensive tackle ever was Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
He all day long. Just imagine how many sacks those edge rushers got because of him.
Yeah.
And how many times did he get to the quarterback? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that inside dominance is that's what everybody dreams about, man. But
Yeah.
I mean, but the guys on the outside, the speed guys,
Mhm.
they get more of the glory. But
Yeah.
that inside pressure is what matters the most.
Yeah, that's the valuable one right
so
there.
like
Yeah.
someone like you said, like Jalen Carter,
Yeah.
that dude's like that's when people say generational, he's a generational dude. Like
Yeah.
then you go back and think about it. How many D tackles really have that presence he has? Like there's not a lot of them, man. You know what I mean?
And it took him 2 years.
Yep.
You know, because last year his snap count was maybe a little over 50%. You know, and this year he was not getting off the field.
Yeah.
And you just see how valuable that was.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm hoping that guy, what's his name, the Baby Davis.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of those guys that's kind of not figuring it out. You know, and hopefully this next year will be the year he figures it out.
Yeah, he had a little good playoff run though.
A little playoff run, but if you look at his snap count, it's probably like maybe 5 plays a game. It's not a lot.
And he's a huge dude.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Dude's a monster.
Yeah, but he did. He had one impact play in the playoffs, maybe 2, but yeah, his snap count is not where it should be. You know, so. But
actually, I think he had a sack on Jaden Daniels right, in the Redskins game in the playoffs.
mhm.
I think he actually got some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee Titans
Yeah.
overall pick Cam Ward. Do you think that was a correct pick for them?
Yeah, but they already had a quarterback.
Will Levis.
Yeah, and they just picked him a couple years ago.
2 years ago, I believe.
Wow, that's wild, huh? Like thinking about how did Gabriel feel? How is he feeling? Like he's gone.
But at the same time, if you give somebody 2 years to figure it out and they can't,
Yeah.
if you're the owner, you're the GM, what's going to make you think we're going to roll with this guy year 3?
I mean, because for one, if you're a shitty team like that, it's going to take a couple years to get all the pieces for this guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, have you seen some of the passes that he did? He's just about on his knees and he's on throwing under.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You just take the sack at them.
So yeah, I mean, if it's already in the visual, or like, look, this is not the guy.
Yeah.
You know, let's move on. Then it's obvious. But to me, I mean, if you're gonna throw a guy in the fire right away, and I think, and you're like one of the first round draft picks, top 3, that means your team sucks. You know, if you're like a guy and you're going to Pittsburgh, and you're like on the other side of the draft board, your team's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're like, all right, you know, you're the quarterback, and in 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, you're still shitty. Yeah, get this guy out of here. You know, but I think when you're on a team where you're in the bottom of the barrel, and got to give this guy some time. You know, so I mean, there's gonna be teams that want this guy, I would assume. You know, but I don't know. There's follies about him. You know,
this dude has a fucking whole reel of just goof plays.
Oh,
like
God.
it's horrible, dude. Like it's because I know you're not on social media, so you don't really see that.
Yeah.
But bro, it's some of the wildest shit. Like it's like, what is this guy doing? And I mean, he went like on a 5-week run with just like stupid plays, like throwing pick sixes, like just bad, bro. You know.
And they're loaded with some offensive guys, right? Like, they have some wide receivers. Or...
Well, they also drafted a couple wide receivers, but they actually have a legit defensive line.
Yeah.
So on their defensive side, that was never the problem for them. It was offense. Offense could never get it going, and it all started at the helm, which is the quarterback. And I think Cam's gonna be the one to go in there and change it all for them.
Yeah.
And I think he just has. I think he really does have that it factor.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's about to witness that.
And Travis Hunter couldn't even be like, yo, draft Shador in the 5th round. You know, tell his team. You know?
But
that's so wild.
You know, just thinking about that now, the you mentioned that, I think teams just didn't want to deal with all that shit after.
Yeah.
I think that's what it came down to. All right, we want this guy, but here comes the media. Here comes all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that, and here comes the main question to the GM: why did you guys draft him?
Like, if Belichick would have drafted him, like, I'm surprised Andy Reid didn't draft him. I am so surprised Andy Reid did not draft this guy. There's just something is up, man. I don't know, man. Like,
conspiracy?
It's like in that round where it's just like, yo, nobody's taking him. And if anyone's allowed to take him, yo, Vegas, you could have him, and Cleveland, you could have him. Nobody else could have him. Undercover meeting. It's just crazy. God, it's just insane. God, like, even the Saints didn't want him. God, they're really scared of Deion Sanders. Like, they're really scared of him. Like, who runs NFL? NFL Network. NFL Network don't like Deion Sanders? It's insane. I don't get it. I don't get it. Crazy.
So if you're a GM and you see a Shador there, you would have drafted him?
Yeah, I'm picking him up. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, when you're getting to, you know, the 5th round and your offensive tackles and, you know, you're picking guys that you don't know, and you have a freaking a top 10 kid. He was supposed to go top 10. What was it on Price Picks? That little free thing they gave you. His over and under was 8.5. You were able to get a top 10 guy in the 4th round. It was just insane. And no one was going to touch it. Because if he's in my quarterback room, my starting quarterback's going to be mad. That is not a winning. I just don't get it. Like, Belichick is getting him.
You think so?
Yeah, we're picking him up. We'll trade him next year.
So what?
They'll pick him up to trade him next year.
That just goes to show me, like, I was thinking the same thing. Is this like a conspiracy thing, or did people just not really want to deal with the whole hoopla what's gonna happen after?
Yeah, they don't want to deal with that.
Then I seen after when Raiders passed on him for like the 5th time. I said, are they just gonna stick with Geno, and are they eyeing somebody else for like next year?
Yeah, because I thought Geno was a 2-year Band-Aid.
He is.
If you guys wanted Geno forever, why wouldn't you guys pay him for 4 years?
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
So that's
we're gonna give you what do you get? 80 for 2?
80 for 2.
So you got 40.
Yep.
And everyone's getting paid 60 a year.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn.
So he actually went from making like 20 million. So now he's making like 40.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. Like, so are they? Do they have somebody in mind? Or does Brady have somebody?
But like,
in mind?
that contract doesn't show that we want you.
Yeah. No,
right.
Of course.
That doesn't show that.
Of course.
Like, you know, we're probably going to draft someone in the next couple years. You know, but like, once you get to that 4th, 5th round, where, yo, dude, let's give this dude a shot because he could be a franchise guy. They're not kicking that can. It's just beyond me. Unless this guy sucks. Like, does he really suck? Like, what did he had a 2nd round pick overall as his right hand man? So was that guy so good where he just carried him along? and Dion just rode that.
Well, I think when
Like-
that Robin's playing both sides of the ball,
Yeah,
he has a different value.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter how good Shador is, because this guy played both sides of the ball at an elite level.
So maybe that's just the whole thing. Everyone on the under just like, yeah, that guy is good, and yeah, coach is good. But they had Travis Hunter. Do that without Travis Hunter. So that maybe that guy is that elite. That's what it must be. That guy is that elite that everyone was spoofed on Dion being a good coach and this kid being a good quarterback because this dude carried everybody on their back. That's what was proved this weekend.
I think that's what it was.
That's what was proved. That's what it was. You know what? You suck. This kid did everything for you. And if it wasn't for him being on your team, you would have never won. You would have never got another job as a coach at Colorado. It was because of that kid. Maybe that had to be the reason.
That could very well be.
It can't. I mean, when Dayball had the nerve to say that, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, if that came from Andy Reid, I'd be like, fuck, dude, he must have fucked that up. But when it comes from that guy, dude, keep that in. Keep that in. You have no right to say anything.
Wait, what'd you think about the Shador prank call?
You see that it was the kid's son? It was the son. That's why there's no shame. Because what team did Dion play for? The Atlanta. Dude, it's unreal. And they just keep on waiting, kid.
You gotta wait a little bit longer. But isn't that nuts that they actually put a video out though of them doing it?
It was like it happening,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because they thought it was real.
No. The prank callers put the video out of themselves doing it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, do you know who it is?
Yeah, it's the coach's son from Atlanta.
So
But
that's how they got caught.
he's in the video. So he's not the one calling.
Yeah.
But he's sitting to the right of that guy as they're making this call.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, like, why the fuck would you put that out?
He said, "Hey, I could get Shador Sanders."
But how did he get it though? Do you think he went in his dad's emails? And because they said they only sent that number, they personally bought that phone. Only that NFL teams only had that number. That phone was purchased like 2 days before the draft, so only NFL teams had that number.
GMs had it.
Only higher end or
whoever's making that phone call
had those numbers.
Well, his dad had to be that guy that has all those phone numbers. There's just one list. It's not like, hey, if you want to get this number, you got to get a hold of what's name to get you that number. It's like, yo, here's the list of the numbers, and you call which one you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was in some email.
And the son had the nerve to be like, hey,
yeah,
call Shador and tell him that he's drafted next.
Man, I mean, I had friends wearing Steve Young's jerseys. It's crazy. It's insane. That's what I'm saying. He was just like, hey, I could get his number. And the boys told him to do it. Some of these kids, man, I mean, they were probably wilding out, knowing that their dad's the quarterback coach, the Patriots or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy, man. When I actually seen Shador, like, I just felt bad for him when I seen the video. I'm like, what does that mean? I gotta wait longer. Like, he was really like confused.
Yeah.
and you go to the flip side, you watch the video, and those kids are just cracking up, having a great old time after they hang up.
That's what I'm saying. It just seems unreal.
Yeah.
Like even the kids don't like him.
That attitude takes them on.
But to me, it's just like that's the attitude we grew up on. That's Bo Jackson. That's Dion. That's Ken Griffey Jr. Hat to the side, hat backwards. You know, yeah, he had a big ass chain. You know, I hope he goes off. Like I never thought that Oregon guy was gonna do well in NFL. You know, so he's beating him out.
I personally didn't think that he was gonna get drafted before Shador.
Yeah,
but I mean, like I think Shador is good. I think he's a great player, but like I said, there's some things that other quarterbacks that got drafted before him do better.
Is his body type a quarterback type?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is a quarterback type.
Like, is he like a Jalen Hurts? Is he like a Bryce Young? Is he?
Bryce Young's small. He's about like
so he's bigger than Bryce Young.
Yeah. I think he's about like 6'2".
Yeah, he's gonna ball out, dude.
Yeah, no,
that guy's gonna ball out.
But this might be a better situation. It's like I talked about before. Jalen Hurts fell into a great position. I think you kind of spoke about it earlier. Yeah. He fell into a great position with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. He had to sit there behind Carson Wentz and Nick Foles a couple years, 2 years.
Something like that, yeah.
And he became the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Went to the Super Bowl, lost.
Yeah.
A couple years later, went to another one and won one.
Yeah.
He fell into a great situation where that team didn't suck. But
yeah.
On the flip side,
the Browns does suck, but maybe they're going on the upside.
That's the thing. I don't think they actually. Well, okay.
Because you know what?
On paper, they do suck, but I think the organizations ran like shit.
Yeah.
They got some players over there. They got players on the offensive side of the ball. I think that the whole team just ran like shit, though.
It's damn if you do. Because if he would have went to Pittsburgh, they would have been like, he's not even good. He just went on a team that's already good. So, like, now he can go start his own legacy at Cleveland. Yeah. Like, if Cleveland, our whole lives, we have never seen Cleveland win.
Well, this is why they don't fucking win, because they draft guys that have 5 quarterbacks.
You got to just close your eyes and you put your hand inside that bucket and you just hope it works. Right?
It's like the text I sent you. I think you should just rotate a guy every week like a pitcher.
Like a pitcher, right?
Yeah. Hey, I think this matchup is best for you. You start this week. You know?
Or just each guy gets a quarter in the game, right? Yeah. You got a closer.
Yeah,
one guy could be the closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a comeback? Flacco's in.
Yeah. But it's like like you said, it's like because they keep on making these fucked up moves, they potentially got a first round guy in the 5th round, and they still don't get no love. Like this has got to be in our lifetime, the time that the Browns figured it out.
Do you know any Browns fans?
Like fucking Paul Carrasco in 1991, he had a fucking Browns parka. That's what I know.
I would love to talk to a Browns fan. Just see like a real diehard fan. Just to see like what the real thought process is behind all this and what really happened for their.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, I was watching everything, and I had a fucking tournament in Stockton, and and then being out there coaching baseball, it just put me in a fog. It's like you tell me the Lakers lost. They were down. They were up by 10. And then I was, I'll find out live from Gilly. And then you showed me before, they're down 3-1.
Down 3-1 with LeBron and fucking Luka. You're down 3-1, bro.
Man, out of all the, the guys that look like they could take over the league, Ant-Man could be that guy. Like, to me, he seems like one of those hoopers.
They already said he don't want to be the face of NBA.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't want that pressure, but he's gonna be one of the greats.
Yeah.
You know, like I think when it's all said and done, you know, if he stays wherever he's at, you know, I think he has you know, no fear and he can hang. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
You know, he can hang.
I think he's already up there as one of the greats in this era.
This era, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I think a lot of people were saying, Wemby's the face of the NBA, this and that. They could be,
Yeah.
but I think overall Ant-Man is that guy.
Because like those SGA and him,
Yeah,
are the two young dudes that are just hella dope. Mom.
yeah.
You know. Yeah. No, I mean it didn't surprise me because even saying that they went to the Western Conference Finals last year.
Yeah, versus
Was it Dallas?
Yep.
Yeah.
Luka.
So. Yeah, he has a chip on his shoulder, man.
You know what it is
the
too?
old Olympic thing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Timberwolves actually match up very well against the Lakers, and this was a trouble match for them.
Yeah.
I rather played any other team but them because of this matchup because we seen it during the season.
Right.
It wasn't a good matchup whatsoever.
Right.
And now it's coming out in the playoffs that it's not a good match whatsoever. And,
Who's not coming through?
I mean,
Like
for us, our center. I mean, Hayes, he only had like 4 points.
But like, is Luka not giving you 30?
Oh, Luka's giving me 35. LeBron's giving me 25. But the rest of the teams is non-existent. You know, it's like
no defense.
no defense. It's just like the first game. You know, when the Timberwolves beat us, it was like 119, 104, whatever. They came out and shot 50% from 3-pointers. They made 21 3-pointers out of 50 attempts. And our defense was non-existent. We're standing there watching these guys shoot wide open threes. You know, and I text Georgie, hey, this is fucking crazy. Like, how do you shoot 50% from 3 and 21 fucking 3-pointers?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this can't be real. JJ Redick said, hey, you know, we just had the best practice of our life ever.
Yeah.
In game 2, we're going out. Game 2, they came out, shut them down. They only scored 8 3-pointers that game. You know, then again, here they fucking come again.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, it's not a good matchup.
So they went back home and won both games at home. Minnesota. Right? They split the series in LA. They went back home and won both.
Now they're flying back to LA.
Now they're flying back to LA. So we're in store for 7-game series.
Possibly.
The Lakers, round 1.
A lot of people were saying it's going to go. They said Lakers in 6, but it's looking like I won't be surprised if they get eliminated next game. I won't be surprised.
Oh man, I would be.
Would you?
Yeah, I would be.
I won't.
Yeah, I would be because it surprised me that they lost. You know, they lost this game. So I think it's going to be a blowout. Because they're going to be back home. It's going to be a blowout. What does it go? 1-1-1?
Yep. Go back to the old style.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, this is what we're kind of talking about. You know, every round is going to be, once this shit gets started, you know, it's going to be some good-ass games.
Fight. Just like Golden State series.
Yeah.
I mean, another series where it's just great games, close games. Even, you know, a great series is actually the Clippers and Nuggets.
Clippers and Nuggets.
That's been a fucking wild series.
Yeah.
Like, do you see last night how it ended?
When he dunked that, that's the Denver one?
Yeah.
Denver Clippers?
Yeah.
When he airballed it.
And
fucking Middy's finest comes in there and slams it.
Slams it with like 0.1 left.
Yeah, that was the tightest time ever.
Yeah. Like, you can't time that any better than that what just happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great series. Fucking Kawhi is doing great. Everybody's putting on a show, man.
That's 2-2?
Yeah.
So that's 2-2. Lakers 3-1. And then
Golden State's 2-1 right now.
Something scary about this Golden State Warriors one because Houston was good all year, just like OKC. And I'm thinking, like, is this like fake? but like their record was just way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
So they're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, and the Warriors are finding a way to beat these guys. You know, they're finding a way to beat these guys. And if they go off and handle these dudes, these next, you know, like it's like a blowout, not a blowout, but like you know, they win in 6, win in 5. I feel like it's gonna be not downhill, but like, yo, they're gonna be tough to beat. You know, like the biggest challenge was already in the first round.
Yep.
You know, I mean that OKC is another matchup though because they're probably just like Houston, but they got scorers.
Yep.
Right? They just score. That's Houston. Same thing. They're just not, to me, as consistent scoring. You know, but man, who could Houston have had?
I know, but
Because they got to add somebody else. You know, I mean, like those guys are good. They're young, but I just can't see them being like a crazy threat next year. I think they need that one. You know,
I think they just need to keep building. I think they got their young core, and
Yeah.
they made it this far just off that young core.
yeah,
I mean, maybe that's the new core of the future. I mean,
yeah,
every squad has to start somewhere,
yeah,
and I think this is it. I think there might be that team, them in Oklahoma might be that team that get away from, maybe like the original Warrior team that just developed great
yeah.
chemistry. Had the Clay, Draymond, Curry, all
That's what
homegrown.
they're doing right now, right?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They have no big stars.
yeah,
They didn't draft it. I mean, they didn't get anybody free agents. They didn't make no big three, anything like that.
yeah.
So they're just all just homegrown.
Yeah, them
talent.
adding a Harden or them adding a Durant might fuck them up.
Yeah, could possibly mess up chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the Celtics beating the Magic today. Well, now they're up 3-1.
Okay.
Got the Timberwolves beating Lakers today. That's 3-1 now. Knicks beat the Pistons. That's 3-1 now. And
Oh, that was a close one.
Yep.
They broke
94-93.
Detroit's heart.
Yep.
Oh.
That was that close from being 2-2. Now you're 3-1. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound that much worse. 3-1 to 2-2.
Because you go home.
Yeah, one more game and that's it.
Yeah.
And the Pacers are on the verge of being 3-1 too. They're about to beat the Bucks.
Wow.
That's 122-100 right now with 3 minutes left.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
been a great week of basketball.
Yeah.
Great week of NFL draft. Coach G, looks like we're about to get out of here. Any last words before we head out?
Yeah, man. I mean, fucking good weekend. I got caught up because I was in Stockton. Dude, it's rough out there in Stockton, man. I haven't been out there in a minute. But the fields we played at, you ever play a football? Any football teams from Stockton?
No, we never played at Stockton. So we only went to down south towards Salinas.
Because the high school we were at was Stagg High School.
Oh, that's one of the.
Yeah, it was the dude. When I was filming the field, it reminded me of Wilcox. Same stands, same everything, you know. But yeah, man, it was dope being out there. Freaking, I just noticed, like, especially like the kids I coach, freaking, their I think the change of scenery kind of fucked them up. You know, it was just being out there in Stockton, new field, newer teams. You know, same teams we played, same umpires are out there. You know. But just fucking game 1 kind of shit the bed, you know, and then game 2 is the harder team we had to play. Played great. Freaking one of our pitchers, JJ, fucking, like 4 strikeouts, like 8 walks, hella walks, right? It was like, I'm probably butchering. He probably had like maybe 4 and 6, but like, man, the umpires that we had out there, everything was tight. You know, after our second game, it was like a 4-3 ball game. It's like the 5th inning, and we got our first hit. Their pitcher had 13 walks, and our guy had 4 walks. There were 17 walks. So like, dude, the zone was just so tight where fucking It was just those long ass games, But fucking win game 2, But it was just like a lot of bonehead mistakes, man. A lot of mental errors that our kids had, and I just had a feeling it was just being at a different field. You know what I mean? And then just kind of adapting to that, you'll get better. And just hopefully they learn from that, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully they learn from that, because there was a lot of like, fly balls dropped because, the sun was in their eyes.
Yeah.
Just not being prepared, or, missing signs, or swinging through a sign, or it was a lot of stuff like that where maybe they just weren't thinking enough for it. And I don't know if maybe it was just being in a different spot or what, but all those little things just kind of accumulated, where a game should be out of reach, but now it's a close game.
Yeah.
One of our, we were down by 2, and a pass ball. We scored a run on a pass ball, and our guy doesn't, the runner on second and third, kid throws the ball, pitches it, wild pitch, our kid scores, and instead of sliding, he doesn't slide, and the catcher throws it to the pitcher, and there's contact, right? And the ball gets overthrown, and the guy from second's rounding third, and he goes for it, boom. He goes 4, and he scores, and the umpire fucking hits him. Bam, he's out. But he calls him out because of the obstruction from the guy before.
Oh.
So instead of calling him safe, obstruction, you out, he just made up for the fuck up of my kid not sliding.
Yeah.
And so, but just the moral of it was just our kids had other opportunities to this game be out of reach, but this game being that close coming back to bite us. But
yeah.
You know what? Shout out to that team, man. We went out there. It was a major tournament where all the dopest teams were out there. We went 1-2, had a chance to go 2-1 and make it to the championship game. Just fell short. I think the score was 5-4. But shout out to that squad, man. They definitely went out there and represented, So definitely good weekend of sports for sure.
Yeah.
Hell
you know
yeah.
what? I want to give a shout out to this pitcher from Hollister High School. I'm not sure about the kid's name.
Yeah.
But my friend's son played against Hollister.
Yeah.
And this Hollister, I believe he's a Cal commit. And he had 16 Ks.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah.
16 Ks.
Yeah. We got shut down by Mountain View, G's senior year. And I think he was committed to maybe San Francisco State, something like that. Got the kid's name, Barrett. Last name was Barrett. And he had 15 Ks. And I think fucking Wilcox bunted one to get because it was a no-hitter on the Mercury News. But we're like, nah, fuck that. Like, we bunted a hit.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking bunt hit. Fucking guys. But, man, that's a lot of strikeouts because, it's 7 times 3, 21. So,
yeah,
16 out of 21 he was shoving.
Yeah.
And he's Cal commit, huh?
Yeah, Cal commit. They said he was throwing the low 90s or mid 90s.
Yeah.
They said he was on point, man.
So that's what Hollister
Hay Bailers.
Hay Bailers?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
All
right, Coach
man.
G. Well, this looks like it's going to be a wrap for episode 14. Until next week, episode 15. And we out.
Hell yeah.